Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a super fascinating shift happening in how dense living spaces are solving a very modern problem, the convenience gap. We're going to look closely at how a super familiar, honestly often overlooked machine is totally evolving into a highly strategic, absolute must-have service for densely populated residential areas. Let's get right into it. To really wrap our heads around the value here, I want you to picture a scenario for a second. Imagine a resident just getting off a brutal late shift. Maybe they're a nurse or a warehouse worker, and they finally drag themselves home at 2 a.m. They're exhausted, they're hungry, and they're thirsty. But when they look around, every single retail store nearby is locked up tight. So where do they go? They need a quick, reliable option that absolutely doesn't require scraping ice off a windshield or walking 5 blocks in the freezing dark just to grab a bottle of water. Well, enter the unsung hero of our story, the modern vending machine. Now, we really need to stop thinking about this as just some dusty box in a motel hallway that spits out stale potato chips. In modern apartment buildings and housing complexes, these machines have been totally transformed into sleek, highly strategic, 24/7 community amenities. They step up to meet a very real, immediate demand for everyday products. And the best part? They do it all without the massive overhead, the staffing nightmares, or the huge spatial footprint of a full retail store.
So let's look at Section 1, the convenience gap, and how we serve these dense areas.
Think about how dense residential areas actually work. You've got tons of incredibly diverse groups of people packed into a limited space, and they are all juggling completely disparate daily schedules. Traditional retail stores simply aren't built for this. Their rigid operating hours and the fact that you actually have to travel to get to them creates massive friction for residents. Vending machines entirely flip this dynamic. By offering fluid, continuous, around-the-clock accessibility directly inside the building, that travel friction drops to literally zero. The convenience gap is completely bridged. What used to be an annoying late-night errand magically turns into a 10-second trip down the hall in your slippers. So you might be wondering, what exactly are these machines stocking to bridge that gap? Well, we aren't talking about luxury goods here. We are talking about everyday essentials. Bottled water, soft drinks, a quick snack, some coffee, or even basic health items like Band-Aids. By placing these highly specific, high-need items right at people's fingertips, property managers are actually giving residents their time back. It's all about meeting them exactly where they are with exactly what they need the very second they need it. Which brings us to Section 2, strategic residential placement in high-traffic locations. Look, having the right products means absolutely nothing if the machine is hidden away in some dark basement. A machine's success relies entirely on intersecting the natural flow of a resident's daily routine. We're talking about high-traffic gold mines, building entrances, lobbies, shared lounges, laundry rooms, and spots directly next to the elevator banks. These are the natural community bottlenecks, where folks just naturally pass by anyway. Placing a machine right there makes the decision to use it completely frictionless. It goes from being a planned errand to just an effortless impulse. Moving right along to Section 3, 24/7 access and tech and how it's improving service. We have to talk about how modern technology elevates these machines from simple coin-operated boxes into really smart, connected hubs. The first massive upgrade, cashless payments. Gone are the days of furiously trying to flatten out a crumpled dollar bill or digging through your pockets for exact change while the machine just sits there judging you. Integrating card readers and mobile tap-to-pay completely modernizes the whole experience. It makes the purchasing process significantly faster and infinitely easier for today's consumer. You literally just tap your phone and go. And behind every single one of those tap-to-pay transactions is a steady stream of incredibly powerful data. Because these machines are connected, operators can track exactly when items are purchased around the clock. The sales data reveals very distinct user groups within a single building. You've got the early morning commuters grabbing coffee on their way out, the midday remote workers who desperately need a quick snack break, and of course those late-night arrivals we talked about earlier. The data proves without a doubt that a single machine is seamlessly serving wildly different schedules under one roof, and it does it without missing a single beat. That same connected technology also completely revolutionizes inventory management. Operators are no longer just blindly guessing what's inside the machine or showing up to completely empty rows. Real-time monitoring allows them to instantly spot what's popular and dispatch restocks super quickly. More importantly, it means empty selections are entirely avoided. Operators know exactly what's selling out, so they can restock it way before a customer ever faces the utter frustration of pressing a button for a sold-out snack. It basically guarantees consistency. All right, let's jump into Section 4, adapting to local tastes. Truly useful residential services rely on all that data to curate a hyper-local inventory. The inventory literally has to dynamically shift based on the specific demographic of the building. Think about it. A complex filled with families is going to have vastly different everyday needs. We're talking juice boxes, laundry detergent, kid-friendly snacks, compared to, say, a downtown high-rise packed with young professionals who are hunting for energy drinks and protein bars. Operators use their real-time purchasing data to tailor the product mix exactly to the preferences of the micro-community living just upstairs. It's brilliant. And furthermore, it's not just about who lives there, but when they're buying. Regularly reviewing those sales patterns lets operators make dynamic seasonal product adjustments. You cycle in the cold hydration drinks and ice cream during the sweltering summer months, and then swap in hot coffee options or hearty snacks during the freezing winter. By actively cutting down on slow-moving inventory and reacting to the calendar, the machine always feels super fresh, relevant, and highly attentive to the community's changing needs. Finally, we hit Section 5, maintaining reliable service and keeping these machines stocked. Here's the harsh reality. None of this incredible data or perfectly strategic placement matters one bit if the machine is broken or empty. Community trust is the real currency here. So to build that trust, operators follow a really strict maintenance playbook. First, they schedule regular, preventative maintenance. Second, they restock proactively based entirely on that live data. Third, they provide crystal clear instructions right there on the glass to help users resolve simple issues instantly. And finally, they respond incredibly fast to any actual technical problems. This kind of operational discipline is exactly how regular users learn they can totally rely on the service day in and day out. When all of these elements finally align, something really special happens. The machine stops being just a random piece of hardware and genuinely becomes a useful part of daily residential life. The combination of incredible convenience, tech-driven inventory management, and flexible, tailored product choices transforms a simple box into a vital community service. It provides immense value, saves residents tons of time, and offers rock-solid reliability without ever requiring the massive footprint or overhead of a full-blown retail store. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Is your building genuinely serving its residents around the clock? Take a hard look at your own residential spaces. Are there glaring convenience gaps that are just being completely ignored? The modern vending machine, armed with smart data and strategic placement, might just be the exact solution your community has been waiting for. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep looking for those smart solutions in your everyday spaces.